host, Jen Bell, as always. Welcome back. So I am doing another movie review. I just watched, last night actually, Bad Dreams from 1988. Yes, this is the Scream double feature along with Visiting Hours. I mainly got this for Visiting Hours because I've never seen it, wanted to see it. And I haven't, like I said, I haven't watched it yet, but I popped in Bad Dreams last night. And here's the thing. I know this movie sort of has a reputation of pretty much being a blatant ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street franchise as a whole for various reasons. Similar story, which I'll kind of get to in a minute because I've got a little bit to say on that. But also, you also have starring in this Jennifer Rubens from Dream Warriors, and one of the actually, the pharmacist that's in here, I forgot his name, but he's actually the dream doctor in the first one, who also did the voice of Roger Rabbit. So, I mean, kind of, obviously, right off the bat, vaguely similar premise with two Nightmare on Elm Street alumni. Obviously, it makes sense why this movie has the reputation as it does, but the movie itself, so basically what this movie is about, and there's going to be spoilers in this, you guys. I really was going to try not to do spoilers, or at least major spoilers or anything, but there's probably going to be some spoilers. Anyway, so the premise of this movie is that Jennifer Rubin's character, at a young age, like 13 or something, like a teen or whatever, a young child, who was kind of taken in by this cult. And you have to think of, like, cult at that time. A few years after this, we had the whole, like, Kool-Aid thing, or around that time, we had, like, the whole, like, Kool-Aid drinking thing, and, like, everyone died, and just all these different things, and this was sort of a reflection of that time, I feel, where, it was coming out with all these different cults, past cults and everything. Obviously, there's cults in, like, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and all this and everything. So this was just, I feel like, kind of taking that sort of environment and lifestyle and adapting it to a movie, which usually a cult in a movie is, like, usually you can not go wrong with that. There's been some bad cult movies, but it is a recipe for a decent, interesting, worth checking out horror movie, in my opinion. I'm just saying. But, of course, we find out that this cult leader, pretty much kills everyone except for this one girl, Jennifer Rubin's character, who survives this, like, fire or whatever that was set to obviously kill everyone, to send them up to, like, God or the UFOs, whatever they were, like, worshipping or whatever, and going home to, whatever. And so she actually survives, but she's been in a coma for, like, 13 years or something. Some craziness like that. Wakes up, gets put into a psychiatric ward, which, sounds kind of reminiscent to the year before in Dream Warriors starring Jennifer Rubin. Once again, just one more, like, thing that is similar to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And the movie kind of goes on sort of seeing her struggle and everything, what's going on with these other patients are being killed off and everything, and she's having, like, illusions of this former cult leader. In her head, this is the guy who's doing it and everything, and all this. And we actually come to find out towards the end, okay, the guy really isn't, like, killing these people in this psych ward or anything. It's actually, we come to find out that all the pills have been kind of, like, rearranged. And I like this because they do explain it pretty well, in actually, for a late 80s movie involving these type of medications and everything, like, the pharmacist, the guy from Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and Roger Rabbit, is saying, like, oh, like, lithium, given to the right person, it'll work and it'll do this, but given to someone who doesn't have these symptoms, it'll cause them to do this. Same thing with, like, this type of drug, for someone who shouldn't be on and doesn't have the right symptoms for this pill, it'll make them to, like, do this. So you realize that one of the doctors there has been manipulating and is doing his own sort of research and sort of proving what this cult leader did years before with like mind control and everything. So it's like all mind control and everything. And that's, that's one of the big things. And there's like a lot of things actually in this movie that definitely set this movie apart from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I mean, like, yeah, you've got the guy who gets burned and everything. You see him a couple times, like, burned up and everything. Very different from, like, a burned Freddy Krueger or anything. And I have to say, the guy without the cult leader, without the burn makeup, more creepy than him actually having the burn makeup on him and everything. But this movie definitely, I give it credit because it definitely is its own movie and definitely deserves a chance to be seen. Because like I said, there are, it's very easy to kind of compare it to A Nightmare on Elm Street, any one of those movies, even for some of the obvious reasons, such as the cast members, the setting of the movie and everything. Oh, Bad Dreams, a guy who's coming in and out of like people's dreams, or at least one girl's dreams, and he's burned and everything. Like, I feel like it's almost like coincidental that these similarities are in here, and it was released at the same time as all these Nightmare on Elm Street movies and everything, so it kind of, in a way, unfairly gets compared to the movie, because I feel like this is definitely a movie, if you watch it, especially if you watch it, like, if you stumbled upon this movie before A Nightmare on Elm Street, any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, you'd be like, oh my god, like, this is actually a really decent movie, and probably would not even, you wouldn't be comparing it to Nightmare on Elm Street at all. Because I feel like throughout the whole movie, I was trying not to do this, but I found myself doing it just because, number one, all my life, because this is the first time I've seen this movie, but the whole time that I've ever heard about Bad Dreams, it's always been compared to Nightmare on Elm Street. It's been, like I said, kind of at the beginning of the video, a lot of people can kind of call it a blatant ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not going to say it's a blatant ripoff. There's similarities. There's definitely similarities in this movie. And honestly, tell you the truth, yeah, if you want to say that it is pretty much a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff, you know what? I kind of like the fact that it's a different twist on things. It's instead of like, say, Freddy as like a child molester or something, let's turn him into a cult figure and cult leader. Like, so if you want to make that connection, it's an awesome little thing to kind of check out and have a different take on a previous movie. I'm just saying. I mean, plus too, there's so many times that we do see this. And here's the thing, I'll even say too, because something that I was thinking about while viewing this movie, like I said, it's been ingrained in me that it's a blatant ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street. To a degree, I can see it. I can definitely see a lot of the similarities and everything. But I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, like a decade before, two prime examples, if you want to say total like blatant ripoff, in certain ways, is the original Carrie and The Fury, which I know was directed by the same person and everything, but and I'm not even bashing either of those movies, because I really do love both of those movies, Carrie and The Fury. Definitely needs to check both of those movies out if you haven't, especially The Fury. It's a great different take on Carrie itself, and sort of if Carrie wasn't as much of like a mousy, controlled by her religious mother, and actually had a voice and used her voice. It's kind of nice to see that aspect. Plus, it also has Amy Irving, which is in both movies, The Fury and Carrie and everything. Anyway, though, but kind of did not mean to have like a little side review of that. But, as I was kind of thinking about that, it's like, well, no, that is definitely, like, those movies, The Fury is definitely much more a blatant ripoff, for, I think, obvious reasons. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, because like I said, once again, it's directed by the same person, not everything, between the two movies. But, that I feel like is more of a blatant ripoff, or more of like just, okay, it's Carrie Part 2, And like I said, I'm not even saying that as a bad thing. Both movies are great and everything, so. But this one definitely, I feel like, does not deserve to be considered so much of a blatant ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street. Definitely watch this one, you guys. I think a lot of you guys will enjoy it. I mean, there's even with like kind of like the off acting, kind of like the bad acting. There's some bad acting in here, but it definitely is something that I think most of you guys will appreciate and enjoy. So check it out. I know quite a few of you guys have seen this already. If you haven't, definitely check it out. I believe this is on Shudder or Prime at the moment. I know I've seen it floating around. Or if you want, you can order this from Shout Factory. I know on Shout Factory website it's like $20, barely $20. So it's definitely just watching the one movie so far, the one that I didn't even get this set for, this collection for. I still would recommend it. I still have to watch Visiting Hours. Hopefully soon I'll get that and do a review for you guys. But yeah, check it out, you guys. Let me know what you think and everything. Till next time, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.